Thank you for joining me here at Lowry Sports Rhetoric. I am your host, Nathan. I wanted to get on here with week 1 in the preseason done and behind us and just kind of give a shout out to some of the players that caught my attention as I watched the games. Obviously, I didn't watch every game, but I did watch a few of them. I actually would have liked to have watched more than I got to watch. But some of the players that stood out to me while I watched these, definitely looking at rookies especially. There are some backup players that I would be calling out too if they stood out, but some of these rookies especially stood out. So we start with the first one here is Dominique Robinson, defensive end out of the Bears. He looked like a man amongst boys. He was just tearing it up out there, pushing his weight around, and I don't know. I was really impressed with him. I liked what he had to offer there. So. Another guy, Julius Chestnut, running back from Tennessee. Guy I work with is a fan of Michigan, and the other running back, which the name for some reason is escaping me right now, but he wanted me to kind of check him out in the preseason, so I was keeping a close eye on him and told him that he's going to have some tough competition because Julius Chestnut looked like a really good running back out there. He's very impressive. Obviously, this is all first preseason game of the year, so you don't want to read too much into it, but I just wanted to give a shout out to some of these guys. They might not ever get a shout out again. They might not end up making it in the NFL, but for sure they had some impressive play this week. So Isaiah Likely, tight end of the Ravens. He was a tight end I was looking at for the Colts. I thought he showed a lot of potential of that athleticism. Really had some really good moves. You could see him in the receiving game kind of juking people out, putting moves on him out there. Very athletic, and at his size that was very impressive. So I very much I had a feeling that I would like him as a tight end in the pros. I think he's perfect there for the Ravens. So something to shout out. I'm sure Isaiah Likely is going to be somebody that you hear his name quite a bit this coming up season. Next is Curtis Brooks for the Colts, defensive tackle out of Cincinnati. If you go back and you watch my stuff, my coverage on him from the draft, I feel like that's a guy who got slept on a little bit. I think he's better than people were giving him credit for. I think we picked him up in the 7th round, if I remember correctly, or 6th, but I'm pretty sure it was the 7th. Anyways, man, I think that's great value. I really do. I think he's going to end up being a very good player. And he definitely showed up quite a few plays there watching with the Colts. A couple times I looked up and thought, oh, man, who's that? Oh, yeah. It's Brooks. So, which is good. That's not a surprise to me necessarily because, again, like I said, watching him last year in Cincinnati, I didn't feel like he had a lot of upside. So, Kyle Hamilton, safety for the Ravens. Again, this is a guy who I'm not surprised. I'm sure he's going to be a stud. You're going to hear his name quite a bit, but he stood out making quite a bit of plays there for the Ravens as well. It's always fun watching these rookies step up and either live through their name or come out of, like in Brooks' case, come out and say, hey, man, like, you picked me late in the draft. But Kyle Hamilton definitely lives up to his name, and he was pretty impressive in his play as well. And then the last there is Kenny Pickett, quarterback for the Steelers. Give him a shout out for sure. He played out of his mind. I think he was like 12 to 14, 2 touchdowns, like 119 yards, something like that. Anyways, really solid play from a guy who I'm skeptical about. I'm still skeptical about him, but he at least had a really good game. And if he continues to play at that level, yeah, he might end up taking the job from Trubisky. And I'm sure Steelers fans would be happy with that if that was the case. So, anyways, just wanted to get on here and give a shout out to some of those players that kind of impressed me a little bit this week. Like I said, I keep a close eye on a lot of these guys. Verone McKinley, he's another guy. Personally, I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a really good safety. He was undrafted there in Dolphins, and he had 6 tackles, which for a preseason, that's really good. It was the second most on the whole team. So I want to give another shout out to him as well. So, anyways, thanks for giving me a watch. Comment below if you feel like there's some people out there. Obviously, I didn't get to watch everything, so if somebody else caught your eye, let me know below. I love to get in these kind of discussions and see some of these rookies and what they kind of do, and hopefully they catch our attention as we're going throughout the season. And just somebody to keep an eye out for the next few. I'll probably do these every single week and just comment. I bet it's different players almost the entire time. So. Anyways, thank you for giving me a watch. Comment below. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Thank you.